Hi guys, it's Karen. I'm starting my own YouTube video here. Was asked by a number of clients and been asked for the last 20 plus years to do some videos. For those of you who don't know me, I do what's called energy work, and I also do intuitive or psychic readings. I'm an animal communicator and a people communicator as well. I do a little paranormal work on the side, and I've been doing it for about 29 years now. I grew up intuitive. I grew up in the woods. I grew up knowing that everything was connected, and we use that word a lot, that we all have a part in this world to make it better and to go forward and evolutionize, and grow into something better. So anyways, had a few more clients come through the door and say, you've got to do this. I keep watching other people's videos and things and share your knowledge. So I said, what do I talk about? I really don't know what people would be interested in. So I thought I would talk about simply the energy and what that is. And so when we think of energy, we can think of oil, we can think of windmills and wind energy, we can think of electricity and electric energy. But energy is something that's invisible to the human eye, unless you're trained to see it. And energy is something that makes everything on this planet and the stars as well outside in the universe. And it's really this unique science, and it has to do with quantum physics. So when we think about quantum physics, and all of you probably didn't study anything like that in high school or college, because I know I didn't, is that when we think about that energy, it's made up of quantum physics particles that are too small for the naked eye to see. And those quantum physics particles make up everything we see at the same time. And what happens is, if you get a bunch of them together, spinning at a certain speed and spinning and moving together, they make up what we see. And so, hence, you can see the trees behind me. They're made up of energy. You can see me. I'm made up of energy. We can see, I don't know if you can hear my dogs in the back. If they fly by, you'll be able to see them. They're made up of energy. So everything's made up of energy. But at the smallest particle that we know of to this day, at the smallest particle, we're all made up of quantum physics particles. And, you know, that's beyond cellular level, that's beyond DNA, that's beyond RNA. And our scientists are discovering more and more. And frankly, I can't be up to date on everything, but frankly, I'm sure there's more out there that they're looking at. And when we look at those quantum physics particles, we look at the speed of them, as I said, because the speed of them makes up something that we can physically see. For those of us that are not trained, that's great, because I can know enough not to bump into the tree or bump into my dog or bump into Karen. But for those of us who are trained to see beyond the physical structure of the tree, we can see the energy of the tree, or the energy of a human being, or the energy of my dogs. They're having fun over there playing on the wall. And so when we can see the energy of the tree, we call that chi. We call that universal energy. And the energy that makes up a human being, or something live like a plant or a dog, okay? The energy of that surrounds and is within that creature is called aura. And I spent a long time the other night thinking, again, what to talk to you about. And I think that's simply put, so we've got this invisible energy that actually is made up of small particles called quantum physics particles that we can't see with our physical eyes, that if they spin fast enough or at a certain speed, so I don't want to confuse you and say slow enough, we can actually see a tree. But if our eyes become trained to these secret particles, these invisible beings that make up everything that makes up our world and the universe, we can see something different. And that's called chi, or aura. And when we see aura, aura is something that we see the quantum physics particles at a different speed. Our eyes become adjusted to seeing that the tree is made up of the same particles I am. They're only composed a little differently. And that's why my hair is red or purple, and your hair might be blonde or brown. It's a simple concept, right? So sometimes when people come to my office, they say, well, what do you see? I want to see like you, Kat. And how do you see it? It's training, it's practice, it's getting this mind here to understand the simple concept I went over with you. So if you get as far as that, then what is aura? What is aura and how can I see it? Because that's a major question that people ask me. And so I say aura is that energy of quantum physics particles moving at a certain speed to create you, or whatever you are looking at. And so simply put, again, the trees behind me right here, can you see them? If I concentrate and I stop using my physical mind and look at those trees, I can see aura. Aura is a part of what's called, also known as the energy field or biofield of the living being that you're looking at. So I want you to take a minute. Oh, there we go. So you can see this part of the tree, and so you can see my hand. There we go. Okay, so this stick, this branch of this tree has aura. Has aura. And when we, as people feeling energy, okay, that's known as kinesthesia, okay, we can feel the energy of the tree without using our hands and touching it. We can feel the energy, the aura of the branch against my hand. Usually aura kind of flails out on either side of a live being, okay? And sometimes it's wavy, sometimes it has colors in it, okay? But everything has that aura, so even if you were looking at me, I emit some of those quantum physics particles. So if you looked at my side here, you may be able to see some of that aura coming through. So this is just a beginner's look at aura and what it's about. And the reason I chose to come out on my farm to show you outside, you can see aura the best in nature. Now everybody might disagree with me on that because everybody has their way of doing it and seeing it and what can make it the strongest for them individually. But I say out in nature. You know, the ancient peoples were out in nature all the time. They were touching things. They were working with rocks. They were working and making spears or arrows, or talking to the trees, talking to the stones, talking to the grass, talking to the buffalo, talking to the animals, talking to the sky and the sun, and more. And that's how they understood that they may not look like this branch, and they may not look like the sky, but something in this branch and something in the sky and the buffalo, whatever, was connected to them, was the same. And it all comes down to that quantum physics particle. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for my next video, and we'll talk more about aura. Bye-bye.